Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comments. Thanks. I never imagined I'd become the kind of man who practiced conversations in his head before speaking. But that night, sitting alone at the kitchen table with the lights off, I rehearsed the same question over and over, trying to decide how much truth my voice could carry without breaking. The house was quiet in that hollow way that only happens when something has already ended, even if no one has said out loud yet. My name is Michael. I'm 43. I've been married to my wife, Emily, for 16 years. Or maybe I should say I had been married, because the truth is, things have been slipping through my fingers for a long time. I didn't come into marriage expecting constant passion or movie moments. I understood routine. I understood fatigue. I understood that life settles into patterns. What I didn't understand was how slowly someone could disappear while still living under the same roof. Emily used to fill rooms without trying. She laughed loudly, talked with her hands, made strangers feel like friends. I was quieter, more reserved, the kind of man who showed love by being consistent. I built a career in logistics, paid the mortgage on time, coached our son's soccer team when he was younger. Emily said she loved that I was dependable. She called me her anchor. For years, that felt like enough. We had dinners together. We talked about our days. We shared a bed that felt warm, familiar, safe. But somewhere along the way, warmth turned into distance. Conversations became transactional. Did you pay the electric bill? Did you pick up groceries? When I reached for her hand, she'd pull away without noticing she'd done it. When I kissed her cheek, she'd smile politely, like I was a co-worker congratulating her on a promotion. At first, I blamed myself. I thought maybe I'd grown boring. Maybe I stopped trying. So I tried harder. I booked weekend getaways. I cooked meals I barely knew how to make. I complimented her the way I used to. She accepted it all with gratitude, but not affection. Gratitude is cold comfort when what you're starving for is connection. Then there was Derek. I didn't meet him right away. I didn't need to. His presence announced itself in subtle ways. Emily started mentioning his name casually, the way people do when they want something to seem normal. Derek from work said this. Derek helped with that. Derek has the same sense of humor as you. She once said, then laughed like it was nothing. I laughed too, even though something inside me tightened. She began coming home later. Her phone never left her hand. When I walked into a room, screens tilted away instinctively. I asked once if something was going on. She sighed and told me I was being paranoid. I wanted to believe her. I really did. Trust is easier than truth. The night everything finally surfaced didn't start dramatically. It was a Wednesday. Rain streaked the windows. I heard her car pull into the driveway around 9, later than usual. I didn't turn on the lights. I stayed seated, hands folded, heart pounding harder with every second. When she stepped inside, she froze for just a moment, sensing me there before she saw me. Hey, she said carefully. Hey, I replied. She set her bag down slowly, like someone entering a room where they already knew the outcome. I could smell rain on her coat, perfume that wasn't the one she usually wore. She didn't sit. Neither did I. How was work? I asked. Busy, she said. One word. Flat. There was again that wall. I swallowed, feeling the weight of all the nights I'd stayed quiet, all the questions I'd swallowed to keep the peace. I stood up, finally turning on the light. Her face looked tired, but not guilty. That scared me more than anything. Emily, I said, keeping my voice steady, I need to ask you something. She nodded once, slowly. I took a breath. Do you love him? Her eyebrows drew together. What? I didn't let myself hesitate. If I paused, I knew I'd lose the courage. Derek, I said. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was heavy, crushing. She didn't deny it. She didn't argue. She didn't laugh it off. She just stood there, staring at the floor, lips pressed together, breathing shallow. In that moment, I understood something with painful clarity. The truth doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives in the space where an answer should have been. She didn't answer right away. She didn't rush to reassure me or accuse me of imagining things. She just stood there, silent, like the floor might open up if she stared at it long enough. That silence stretched until it felt unbearable, until my chest started to ache from holding my breath. Finally, she exhaled, slow and shaky, and looked up at me with eyes that no longer felt familiar. "I didn't plan for this," she said quietly. "Not no, not never. Just that." Something inside me went numb. I nodded, even though my mind was racing. "So that's a yes," I said, not angrily, not loudly, just stating a fact. She rubbed her arms like she was cold. "I don't know what it is," she replied. "It just happened. He listens to me. He sees me." I almost laughed, but there was no humor in it. "I listened to you for 16 years, I said. "I built my life around you." "I know," she said quickly, too quickly. "And that's why this is so hard." That was the moment I realized how differently we were experiencing the same marriage. For me, it had been something I protected, even when it hurt. For her, it had become something she'd outgrown. Derek wasn't the cause. He was a symptom. The proof that she'd already left emotionally while I was still trying to hold the door open. "Did you sleep with him?" I asked. She hesitated again. Not long this time. "Just enough." "Yes," she whispered. The word landed softly, but the impact was brutal. I felt it everywhere at once, like a pressure wave. I didn't shout. I didn't insult her. I just nodded again, feeling strangely calm, like my body had decided to shut down the worst of pain so I could survive the moment. "How long?" I asked. "A few months," she said. "I was going to tell you." I believe she believed that. But intentions don't undo actions. I walked past her toward the bedroom, not to pack immediately, just to be away from her. I needed space to think, to feel without her voice shaping the moment. She followed me, standing in the doorway like she wanted permission to stay in the story. "I never meant to hurt you," she said. "I know," I replied. "But you did." I sat on the edge of the bed we'd shared for years, staring at the imprint where she usually slept. I thought about all the nights she'd turned away, all the times I'd told myself not to take it personally. I thought about Derek, a man I'd never met, occupying space in my marriage without ever stepping into my house. And I thought about myself, how small I'd made my needs to keep something alive that was already gone. "I can't do this," I said finally. Her voice cracked. "Do what?" "Pretend we still have something," I said. "Pretend you didn't choose someone else." She started crying then, real tears, the kind that would have undone me once. But they didn't now. Something had shifted. The image I had of her, the version of her I'd been protecting, no longer existed. "What are you saying?" she asked. "I'm saying I'm done," I replied. "Not because I hate you, because I respect myself." I packed that night. Not everything, just enough to leave. Clothes, toiletries, the essentials. She sat on the bed watching me, asking if we could talk more, if we could fix it, if we could try counseling. Every word came too late. Counseling only works when both people are still choosing each other. She'd already made her choice. As I walked toward the door, she called my name. I turned one last time. She looked smaller somehow, not powerful, not certain, just human. "I never stopped caring about you," she said. "I know," I answered. "But caring isn't the same as loving someone the way they deserve." I drove aimlessly for a while, letting the night swallow the shock. I didn't feel triumphant or free. I felt hollow. But beneath that hollowness was something else. Something steady. Relief. The kind that comes when confusion finally gives way to clarity. In the weeks that followed, reality settled in. Lawyers. Conversations with our son. Quiet mornings alone. It wasn't easy. Some nights the loneliness felt unbearable. But I never questioned my decision. Every day I woke up knowing I hadn't abandoned my marriage lightly. I'd stayed until staying meant abandoning myself. I never met Derek. I didn't need to. He was just a name that forced the truth into the open. The moment I said it out loud, and she went silent, my life split into before and after. And while the after wasn't gentle, it was honest. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't guessing where I stood. I wasn't waiting for love to come back. I was moving forward, carrying the scars, but also the certainty that silence is an answer, and sometimes it's the one that finally sets you free.